Hey, good afternoon, guys. Donovan McFadden.
Roger Lee.
And we are back with another episode of the Marching to More podcast. All right, you guys are here at season 2. You see we stepped it up another level in our production as well as in the quality of guests that we have coming on here. Today, we've got a very special guest who's out there helping the community. She helps with nonprofits, self-published author, doing all types of things. If you're interested in taking your business to the next level and you'd like some guidance on how to do so, this is somebody you definitely want to talk to. So be sure to grab a pen, grab a piece of paper, and say hello to our special guest, Miss Sacha Walton.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So I had to push play real quick because you started telling us about a little bit of your background. And so let's just start out right there. So tell the people a little bit about who Sacha Walton is.
So I'm everything. I am a business strategist. I'm a mom. I am an author, the owner of SWI Management Group. And what you were talking about, I was like so far back, but I was an aspiring artist back in the 80s. So that kind of gives context to a lot of things that I've done over the years with the clients that I worked with. But that's me in a nutshell. I'll let you answer the questions and I'll fill in the blanks.
So like, were you part of what's that group called? Destiny's Child?
Destiny's Child.
Is that are you the fourth member? Is that?
No. I was more like a Diggable Planets,
Digital Planets.
Oh,
Cool like that.
okay.
I'm cool like that.
Hey.
Rock like that.
Yeah, I was the fourth member. Now stop.
I got you. Well, I'm glad you're able to bless our guest today.
I like the fact she said, I am everything.
Right?
Go ahead and take that. All for young ladies out there, you need to be everything.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
That's right.
That song, I'm Every Woman, start playing in my head. Nice. So, SWI Management, that is your focal point as of right now? Okay.
Yes. So I have an ecosystem between a personal brand and a company.
Mm-hmm.
My company is SWI Management Group. It is a DBA of Sacha Walton Enterprise.
Okay.
And with that, we focus on strategic business development and planning and event production. Now, I released a personal brand that's part of the ecosystem in December 2021. So I'm the business strategist, the international speaker, author, and a podcast host.
All right. International speaker. Where have you spoken at?
Paris.
Paris.
Yes.
Oui.
Yes.
Oui.
Nice. That's the extent of my French.
Merci.
No, je m'appelle Donovan. I know that too. Nice. How was it over in France?
It was wonderful. It was beautiful. It was my first time there, and it was a women's conference over there, and it was really nice. So I had a good time, and it was very surreal.
Yeah.
A very surreal moment that I had never thought would happen for me, but it did, and I took on that experience, and here we go.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so that was probably about a year ago, right?
Oh no, actually, yeah. Well, it was October.
Okay.
Yeah, 2022. So only like last year, but yet a few months ago. So.
Oh, okay.
She's elite, bro.
Yeah.
She's elite.
We had an opportunity in hanging out with you at one of the events that you helped coordinate.
Yes.
You did a phenomenal job. So thank you very much. It was the Investicon.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, you want to talk to us a little bit about your
yeah.
relationship with YIG and Investicon?
Oh yeah. So with YIG, it's funny because I met Kezia years ago. We didn't realize how long ago it was. It was just like a quick meeting. We were at this networking event, and kind of like life circled back like earlier last year. I was like, I remember you. She didn't remember me, but I was like, I remember you. We met back in 2019, right before the pandemic, and we went over that. She was like, wow. So it's just like how life can bring you full circle when you go to help people out. But I really believe in their vision and everything that they do with the children and the youth in the area. And so whenever she called on me, like, hey, I got you. So
Yeah. She's good people. So
she's very good. Yeah.
Kezia is the president of Young Investors Group, and they are helping out with inner city youth through financial literacy, trying to keep them off the street. So thank you so much for being a part of that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great time.
Well, let's focus on your business strategist position.
Yes.
So your typical client, who are your typical clients, your accomplishments, and what do you find the most difficult aspects of your job?
Oh, okay. Well, my typical clients basically is all entrepreneurs, but I do find myself working more so with women and creatives. I feel like I have that space open for creatives because I am a creative in myself as well. And it is an area of business that a lot of people don't really consider as business. because creatives don't even look at themselves as being business owners. So, but they still have to operate as business owners. So when you have business coaches out here, you really don't see them working with creatives as much. So they are a part of my target market. My accomplishments go across the board. I have people that I worked with prior to me being like the personal brand of the business strategist, but I've helped scale up businesses, fitness businesses, barbecue sauce, everything you name it. I've worked with people, whether they're speakers or whatever their industry was. I'm one of those type of people that's well versed in business. I have my degrees and everything that I pull into my experience with entrepreneurship as well. Okay. But I'm a Jill of all trades when it comes down to it.
A Jill of all trades.
Yeah. So when I say well versed, I'm able to work with anybody, whatever your business is, whether you are in startup phase or you're thinking about pivoting or you're just kind of stuck. I can help you connect the dots. And I really believe that's why strategy is so important when you're developing a business, and yet it's a missing key for a lot of business owners in this day. And so that's why I don't go by like a business coach. I go by the title business strategist. I help you connect the dots.
Okay. So I don't want to just move past. You talked about your degrees.
Yeah.
What are your degrees in?
So I have a bachelor's in business management and administration and a master's in management.
Okay, so you like built for this.
I'm built for this.
All
yes.
right. Yeah. Some people just kind of fly by night,
some
know, and they're
people are
like
just certified. Some people are certified, or they just go into it based upon their own experience. Not only that, but I have like 20 plus years of corporate professional experience. So I really believe in you pulling in your skill sets, your experience and everything to be that superpower for other people in their businesses. So that's what I do. One of my most recent accomplishments, I would say, is being able to coach a young lady in writing proposals for government contracting, because I am a government contractor as well.
Nice.
Yeah. So I like to be able to say my accomplishments are with other people's successes. But my personal accomplishments are the things that I do, because I like to say that you ought to be your own receipt. Mm-hmm. At this day and age, people are like, you know what, I got to see the receipts. I have to see what you're doing with this person, that person, right? But I do feel like you need to show what you're doing for yourself to show what you can do for the next person. So being able to speak in Paris, being able to work with people internationally, because I do work with other businesses like in Canada and Africa and so forth. And I just like to continue to build those assets for...
Is it Africa?
Yeah, Africa and Nigeria.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
She's saying all this so nonchalantly. She's
like,
just
this is it's kind of a big deal, right?
Yeah. So I am actually, along with my business, I do give back. I love giving. Mm-hmm. And I had to learn how to create that balance with giving, because I'll give it all away and never charge anything. But I have to be disciplined.
Yes.
Got to make money, right? But to feed that fix of giving, if I could say that, would be that I am registered with Micro Mentor, and which is part of Verizon, and they'll have this partnership. So I actually mentor other business owners around the world in a free service. So that's why I help out.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah. So when you you've talked about how you were doing 20 years of corporate.
Yeah.
What made the transition from going corporate to just let me do this on my own?
Yeah. So, all right, this is the story here. I've always worked and had a side business. Well, I won't just call it was always a full-time side business. And working. And in 2018, I experienced a layoff for the company and I was with for a little over 20 years. And then I was like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to be good with this, but let me go ahead and just move my business up to full-time entrepreneurship, which I did. I went heavily after government contracting for state and federal. And in my first 6 months of my layoff, I had several contracts awarded for the state of Virginia, which quickly scaled me to 6 figures.
Nice.
I was in that space from 2018 to 2019. I got my first federal contract in 2019. Then the pandemic happened. And this is all in event services. Pandemic happened, and it kind of shifted my business. It shut down the event industry at that time.
Yeah.
And that was like my lucrative part of my business, even though I did other things, but that was the baby. And so I went through the emotions and all that stuff that comes with you. Like, okay, you seeing your business going from a thriving level to like, it's just start dwindling down.
Yeah.
And then during the pandemic, I went back to work, but I decided to relaunch my business in December 2021. Full on, brought back SWI. Well, SWI, it never really left. It was just like on sleep mode. But I decided to wake it up. And from there, I relaunched the business as well as starting the personal brand, because I knew I had to do it differently and come out as the face of my brand. So I did that. So now I am actually working and managing my personal brand as well as my business, but working on transitioning back.
You know, the best part about this whole thing is I'm thinking in the back of my head, I know personal trainers, I know different entrepreneurs out here that are doing what they know they can do, right? Right? What they don't know is what they don't know.
Yep.
And the big thing about this, all your entrepreneurs out there listening right now, contact Sacha.
Yeah.
She gon' like, you see what's in front of you, she can see what's gonna happen beyond you and make you not just you, just duplicate yourself and expand. And that's the big key about this whole thing. That's what makes I'm so impressed with her already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's the big thing about it. I want to make sure y'all reach out to this young lady and put you in the best position possible. It's about growth, about giving back. It's about, let's be honest. We're in business to make money.
Yeah.
Right? She's going to make you some money. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
All right. So you were talking about grants. You were talking about government contracts, rather.
Yes.
Was that very difficult to get into?
No, not really.
No.
Well, I would say the biggest thing is really navigating your understanding of federal contracting, because it is, I would say, let me put it like this. State contracting is a little bit easier than federal.
Mm-hmm.
Federal is a little bit more in depth because of the type of industry you're in. And the FARs, it's like a big manual of all these codes and regulations. And you definitely have to understand the basics, the requirements of how to do your proposals to bid on solicitations. But once you grasp that, it's fairly easy. It is competitive. You know, you have to know that balance of, are you going to, submit the right price compared to what somebody else going to do. So it's a numbers game. But once you're in it, you're in it. And I would say I wanted to get into that space back in 2013, and I kind of shied away from it. So I would say the biggest part of it is how you perceive that information, because it can be overwhelming. In the beginning, like I said, I shied away from it. It was just too much. I was like, okay, I'm gonna need a mentor in this space. Like, I gotta do it. But I shied away to a point where I just didn't go back into it. So fast forward to 2018, I was pushed into it, in a sense. But the best part about it is, before that layoff happened, I was invited to a conference over at ODU, and they were dealing with government contracting. And that was the thing that relit that fire, not knowing that a month later I would be laid off.
So were they your mentors then? Did
No.
they teach you anything?
So the only thing I would say I got out of it was this one lady. She was a government contractor. She had a workshop, and I just fell in love with it. And what she did was, afterwards, her and her husband created another workshop where they taught you how to write proposals. And they really went through the whole thing. So I felt like, between the things that I learned at the conference and then doubling back to the workshop, I was like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm very assertive when it comes to that. So it's like, okay, as long as I figure out what the little pieces are, I could pull everything else together. And when I did that, that was the missing piece, knowing how to really write those proposals. And I did that. And like I said, in the first 6 months of that,
Six figures. Exactly.
Yeah.
I always advocate people do that, because that's money that the government has to use.
Yeah. And actually, I'm going to start a workshop soon to teach people how to write those proposals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Gotta
Next
listen
month.
up.
Yeah, I'm going to do it in February.
Hey, that's a message, guys. All right. So in 2023, be on the lookout. All right. She's putting together workshops to help you figure out how to fund your businesses.
Yeah.
Nice. You got any other plans for 2023 that you want to key us in on?
Oh, gosh, yes.
Anything exciting happening?
I do. So this is going to be Marching to More exclusive.
Exclusive.
I am an official TEDx authorized organizer.
Oh.
Ding, 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 ding,
Oh,
ding, 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 ding.
let's go.
This is why you stay in the Hampton Roads area.
Yeah.
This is why you come here, you stay.
And this is why you listen to the Marching to More podcast, because we're telling you how this area is glowing up.
And I'm bringing
All right.
TEDx to the area.
You bringing TEDx around here. Nice. So not everybody knows what TED is. I've been watching TED Talks since Bill Gates and Elon Musk were giving their TED Talks.
Yeah.
But can you let our audience know what a TED Talk is?
So just the simplest explanation, it's one of the biggest speaking platforms that people really go towards. It helps to build your credibility because anything you have, the big letters TED behind it, it helps to set you up. If you are actually looking to be a speaker and want to grow as a motivational speaker, or however you want to do it, that is the stage that a lot of people go on. And that's the stage that I'm bringing. So like you said, Elon Musk, you could YouTube it. It's all over. Y'all could look it up.
Yeah.
But that helps to build your credibility and your visibility when you're looking to do more in the public eye.
Yes. So if you guys have been going to college, you've definitely seen some of these. My favorite, Philip Zimbardo has a really good one. And I mean, it's 100, so I don't know that you've heard of this one. But this one right here, it's called... you got to go check it out. Philip Zimbardo. It's a great one. All right.
That's right. That's right. So she's defining when she says I am everything. She's described she does everything.
Facts. If people wanted to sign up for these TEDx's, how do they do that? And what qualifies them for being on a TEDx?
Yeah, so I would say anybody locally who wants to apply, you definitely have to apply. I will be getting details out soon with that. But it is a vet. You have to vet the speakers. My team and I will actually vet all speakers. The biggest part is being able to have a talk that's associated around the theme of the event and knowing how to speak within 8 minutes.
Yes.
And it's a storytelling. You have to have a good story. It's a storytelling type of speaking opportunity, 8 minutes, can't go over the time. And that's basically what it is. I will have probably 10 speakers. So however many applications come in, I have to narrow it down to 10 speakers. But that's basically what it is on the nutshell. But just look out for more details.
Nice. So TEDx event is coming to our area very soon.
Yes.
Yes. Now, talking about events, have you had an opportunity to be a part of any of our other large-scale events in the area over the last year or so?
No, actually, no. Well, I would say this. I am a firm believer of being able to do events here in the area as well as abroad. So I don't limit myself to this area alone, but I know I am making impact in this area.
Yeah.
So I would say the only event locally, as far as like starting back with live events, would be the VestaCon that I've been a part of. But in the past, pre-pandemic, I have been a part of like the Sunrise Music Festival that happens at the beach every year. I don't know if how many people are familiar with that. Actually, I was part of the starting team for being one of the main producers for that when it started in 2014. So that I have worked with Music Theory Studios with their big producer summit that they had back in 2019. Africana. I was, with that. So like I said, when the pandemic happened, it just really knocked off a lot of things, so it's scaling back. So I'm coming back as well on the event side.
Nice.
Producing a lot of stuff. A lot of producers out here, man.
But I would say my biggest event for 2023 is my event in the Dominican Republic.
In the Dominican Republic.
The DR.
Yeah. What's going on in the DR?
So there's this big real estate conference down there for Real Estate Ladies Rock. And it's I'm working with my client. She has a network of over 50,000 real estate agents, all women. But it's open for men too.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I don't have to change how I identify.
No, you don't have to put on a wig, nothing like that to get there, But, I was, and it's open. Yeah, it's definitely
I was about
open.
to pull out my big mama's house.
But it's open for even those who are in mortgage, mortgage lenders. If you're anywhere where you want to connect with real estate agents and really broaden your scope of what you do, that is it. So it's September the 20th through the 24th. We'll be in the Dominican Republic.
Nice.
DR.
So as you look at, and I love when people have the opportunity to go abroad because then they have a different lens when they view this area.
Mm-hmm.
What's your take and your opinion of, things that are happening out there versus things that are happening here?
So my take is this. We've always had an area of, we have heavy hitters in this area.
Yeah.
I'm just going to be real about it. We have heavy hitters. But our area is also one of those areas where things start and they stop. And that's been one of the biggest thing or complaints that people have said over the years, especially in the creative space. We have the potential to grow as like Miami or New York or LA in the creative space. And I know that they're doing a lot to move it to that direction. The legislation here in Virginia keeps a hold on that, but once that's released and changed, then you can see more. You see it more on the city level because you have like Norfolk, they're getting more into the artistic vibe. Virginia Beach got the Vibe District. You know, you have all this. Norfolk Neon, Virginia Beach, Newport News is doing their own thing. So they're doing it on a city level, but once the state change everything, then we'll see it more explosive in that way. So I really feel like we're a diamond in the rough here.
Yes.
We have a lot of people from film to actors to music entertainers to big business, you know, developers, everything. They're here, but they also do business abroad because of the lack of, you know. But I feel like once we continue to grow as a region, not just on city levels, but as a region, then we'll be able to see the impact that we really need to see. And like I said, I know that that's been pre-pandemic. That was definitely the vibe and the growth. I know they were talking about at one point of making even the region extend from here to Richmond. They were talking about combining it. So I don't know like what the talks are now since we're coming out of the pandemic and everything. But I would say that once they can do that, oh yeah, it'll be explosive. And we can see a lot of that impact, a steady, consistent impact here that can continue to grow our area.
Keyword, consistency.
Steady.
Yes.
Yeah.
Discipline and consistency are vital to your growth.
Yes.
All right, I agree.
So right now we're still in the education. We're educating people about this area right now, what we have the potential to do.
Oh yeah.
But you know, if you want to, you know, just like invest in stock, you buy low. Right now, you can get into this area and you can ride along with us, and you see a lot of great things will happen over time.
Definitely.
So as businesses are coming over here, right, we're having conversations about commerce. So as businesses are coming over here and they're improving our area, and we also have our small burgeoning businesses. If they can't access funding through grants or federal funding, what are some other ways that you would recommend that they consider, you know, funding their ideas and their dreams?
Of course, you know, people always say loans if you can't get the grants or anything, but I like to say just be creative, be grassroots about it.
Yeah.
Just have that fun. Like, you know, it was really big back in the days for business and everything. People did the GoFundMes and the Patreons and everything like that. I would say still keep that moving, but, you know, really dive into your communities, really dive into your family and, you know, see how you could pull together people who see your vision and support it. And especially if it has a cause attached to it, you can grow it a lot better when it comes to that. There's always sponsors. A lot of people are like, oh, you know, sponsors are mainly for like nonprofit type stuff. No, you can do that for profit as well. But it's about the strategy of how you do it and how you create those strategic partnerships to get that going. But I always just say be creative, think outside the box. Because I am an event producer, I would say a lot of businesses do not think about having events for their business, you know, to really drive, you know, revenue coming in. You can also drive new clients, followers, anything that's going to help people to be aware of what you're doing with your brand or your business. So just think outside the box, be creative, have fun with it. Yeah.
Are there any businesses in this area? You're tapped in with a lot of business owners. You get to see a lot of stuff abroad and domestic. What do we need? Are there any needs for certain types of businesses around here?
The main need is like to...
I love that I'm going off the cuff and you just like, bah, 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 I got you.
You know, I do got you. I just, I think the biggest thing in our area is the need to get out of our own way and not to be scared to partner with other people. Our area is very cliquish. It's very cliquish. And I feel like when you kind of get out of that, you can, you know, be more inclusive. You can do the inclusions. We need to have more inclusion. Get out the cliques, get out the groups, do more inclusion. And in that way, you can develop those opportunities to grow together. There's unity and growth. There's growth and unity. And I feel like once we get out of that, then we can see the change. But that is a problem for our area. I'm just going to be real about it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just one of those type of people. I like to sit on the outside looking in. And then being in the process. But I'm the type of person, I'm very diverse. I love working with other people. I love building relationships. And I see that that is a something that we don't, that's not a strength of ours in this area.
So you're talking about how you have a very specific niche where you help consult and strategize with businesses, but that's what you do.
Yes.
I feel, and this is a personal opinion, and I may be wrong, and you guys can let me know, but I feel like too many people want to have all the hats, and not being able to partner with each other is because, I feel like I could do that too, so let me get that pie. Oh, I feel like I could do that too, let me get that pie. I'm like, no, man, just do your thing and do that extremely well. So when I come to you, I know I'm coming to a subject matter expert, and then I'm going to go do my thing, and I'm going to do that extremely well. Right. And if we find some synergy, we could really glow up the area, as opposed to us all trying to wear the same hats. What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, and you said that's the key, the synergy. Yeah. Also in that, you can have the same hats, but what skill set is going to lead? If you're very skilled, like for me, I'm very skilled in a lot of areas. But if I'm going to partner with other people and they're skilled in some of the areas I'm skilled in, okay, let's see who's going to be able to use the best of what you have and who you are. Are you going to lead in that skill? Okay, I could take the hat and switch it around. I could lead in this skill. But it's all about the unification of it, and it's all about being able to synergize and see each other for the strength of who you are and go forward in that. So in that way, you're not, what they say, you got too many chefs in the kitchen or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, yeah, you're a chef. Everybody's a chef. Well, what meal are you going to cook up? Yeah. Are you going to do the appetizer? I got the appetizer. You got the meal. You got the dessert, whatever. But we all still chefs, but we can still do all things. Yeah. Just figure out what you want to do and come to an agreement and then move forward. You can tackle a lot of ground when you're working together. Yes. And, in our area, we do have that crab in the barrel mentality.
Yeah, everybody's a bit selfish. Yeah. They're a bit selfish. And part of the reason they're selfish is because over the last, I'll just say the last 2 decades, people have undercut other people. And so we've created this mindset to be selfish because we don't trust and we haven't developed the right type of relationship with people. So that's why we keep it one. It's a snowball effect. One thing leads to another, and now we have this, which is now why we're trying to do what we do to break that stereotype down, and let's build our community the right way.
Yeah, and think like ants. I like to say, if you're going to use an analogy, just think like ants. Ants actually pull together to help build the resources within their little, what you want to call it, anthill. Yeah. All of them are working. They're doing their part. They have their own strength. They're carrying their own weight, but they're doing it together. When you're a crab in a barrel, you're actually pulling down the other person just to move up. Yeah. But ants are working together. So if you have an ant mentality, you cover more ground and get it done.
Let's be an ant.
Yeah. I think we are. People ask hey, why would you promote another real estate agent? Because if he goes shine and glow and I go shine and glow, we gonna glow up together. That's what we about, guys. We're trying to glow up to 757. I hope you hear it, all right? That's why we got Sacha here. I hope. So Sacha is one of many professionals that you guys are hearing who should be used as a guidepost. All right, they're not the only resource, but they're a great guidepost to help you along your journey, because there's an opportunity for us all here to grow together. Yeah. All right, Raj, what questions do you got for Sacha today?
Oh man, let's see. I got everything. Let me stop. So event management. Tell me specific events that you have gone into after the pandemic. What type of things have you done to reach out to these other people? Maybe you could help them with something as well. Like what else have you done?
So I've done some virtual events, but I would say the biggest one is the one in DR that I'm doing. Because like I said, I just relaunched that part of the business in December 2021. So being able to get that contract in 2022 was really good. For this year, I am looking into going to more of getting back more into the government space with event services and working more with corporations. So I would say 2022 really was the driver for my brand. 2023 is more strategic about everything else. So that's why I'll start building more on the corporate side and the government side for the actual event company. But I would say that the extensive of what I've done altogether, I've worked with everything from conferences to stage productions, music festivals and concerts and so forth. Here, Nashville, Las Vegas, Florida, Northern Virginia, DC, everywhere. So, but being able to have that platform, going back to TEDx, and being able to put this region, this area on the map with something, an event that's so good and so big. So I would say that is the next big thing for me. And doors are open.
Gotcha. That's 2023. Any long-term goals beyond, let's say, 2025, or if you just imagine like my 5-year dream, right?
Yeah.
What's a dream?
So my 5-year dream would be greater than where I am right now. Seeing my event company flourishing and getting back to where it was before the pandemic, and even greater, doing more things globally. Because I'm like Pinky in the Brain, you know, it's just like, what we gonna do next, Pinky? So Brain, what we gonna do next? We're gonna take over the world.
Exactly.
So that's my mentality. Is greater than this area, is bigger than me. But my thing is to have more impact on the people that, you know, come my way, whatever the services are, and that I can help bring change to their lives and to their cities and whatever they're, you know, what we're gonna do. Also, it's to grow more visibility. I see myself being more visible and being in things like Forbes and being on talk shows and
Forbes.
you know, yeah. So
Hey, let's speak it into existence. You
We're
know what I
doing
mean?
it.
Let's sprinkle that on
There it
there.
is.
Somebody put her on Forbes. Somebody, hey, Oprah, give her a call. Stop playing them games, all right?
That's right. That's
All
right.
right. Stop
Harpo
playing,
Studios.
Oprah.
Go
Exactly.
to Harpo Studios.
Nice. And you know what? If Oprah was to call you, she'd most likely want to have you on her book session. Am I right?
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Yes, yeah. So actually, I have two. So I'll talk about the first one a little bit, then I'll dive into the second one. So my very first book that I wrote in 2022 is called Beyond the Music. It's an entrepreneurship guide for music artists. So that's why I said with me being an inspiring artist in the past brings content to that book. In my past, like I said, I've done pretty much a lot of things, but I've also managed independent music artists as well in the past. So when I was doing that, when I first started out in business, I was starting out with event production as well as a management company for music artists.
Okay.
And when working with them, I always felt like the one missing thing was they did not think as a business owner navigating the space in music business. And I kind of stepped back from the management part, but I said, okay, if I want to go back in, I want to go in with a new voice, a different narrative. And that's why I talk about entrepreneurship, shifting that mindset to entrepreneurship for music artists to think more like business owners. And that way they won't get stuck in these contract issues. You know, they won't have the business manager or the accountant taking their funds and whatever.
Yeah.
They'll be educated. So there's a quote in the book that says, an educated artist creates a leverage. And so I'm here to help those artists be educated and create leverage as business owners within the music business space, because that's what they are. My other book is my passion, that's my heart, and that is The Ugly Truth About Entrepreneurship, Keys to Managing Mental Wellness. So that is a compelling story about what I went through the pandemic. I chose the topic or the name of the book, The Ugly Truth, because there's a lot of things that as entrepreneurs we go through. People don't talk about it. They talk about all the glory stages of entrepreneurship. We see the latter part of it.
Yeah.
We don't see how you got there. We don't see all the nights that you cried. We don't see, the issues with you scaling, and the next thing you lost everything.
Don't tell them about the nights we cried, all right? We don't talk about
I
I don't cry, all right? I'm joking. There has been
Oh, the
nights.
tears, you
Yeah.
said.
There's been nights.
I had some sleepless nights.
Yeah.
So all those moments, and that's exactly what I went through during the pandemic. And I'm one that feel like having a good story is part of being transparent and vulnerable, but that's how you relate to people, and people can resonate with what you're saying. And there's the lessons that I came out of, which are those keys to managing mental wellness. I didn't realize how much of a people pleaser I was. I knew I was, but I didn't realize I was that much of a people pleaser when it came down to things. So anytime somebody can ask me to do something, I'm like, oh yeah. I'm here, I'm there, I'm everywhere, being everything for everybody, and wasn't being everything for myself in that process. So there's a lot of things that I did in business, but I never promoted it because I did it for other people.
Right.
And there's a lot of things I did for myself, but I still put other people's businesses ahead of mine. That's just one example. But when I went through that point of being still, like I couldn't do anything because I could have, but I wasn't thinking in the mindset of, all right, I could do a business a different way. I was like, my baby is event production. That's my bread and butter. This is what I want to do. And it had me in that mental spiral, dealing with the emotions of watching my business, go from everything to, okay, where are we going to be now?
Yeah.
And being real about it. And so I had that personal discovery within myself. I had these keys, and I was like, okay, well, you know what? When I came out, I'm like, I still want to hold on to that freedom that I found, but yet still want to go back into business. So I knew that knowing my capacity, you only operate with what you know you can do, so you can avoid the burnout. I was burnt out, but I was so numb to it, I didn't realize it, so I was still going. Being able to say no, set those boundaries, and being okay with it, that's one of the keys, you know. So it's like different things. And then also when you're looking at it for entrepreneurs, is actually prioritizing self-care. There's a lot of times we'll keep going, we won't take that hour, we won't take the 2 hours or the weekend to just pull away from everything. So these are the things I'm like, okay, I feel the lightness of it. I don't want to go back into business feeling overwhelmed, because when you do that, you can't think clearly. You process things differently. Your perspective is going to be different. And so that's what I held on to. And that's the keys in the book. So the book is written in a way, it's an easy read. It's not really one of those novels of a book or whatever, but it's impactful. And it's set up to where I ask questions. I want you to feel where I am in this book, and also to make you think. So it's very interactive as well. So yeah, that's my passion, baby.
I'm so glad you shared that, because if I haven't shared it to these two individuals, I've definitely talked to just my family and stuff about how, like, man, we've been doing these podcasts and I feel like I ain't did no work.
Yeah.
I'm tired after we're knocking them out and stuff. But what I have to recognize is, like, you know, telling people about what you're doing, marketing, getting out there, like, that's part of the work too, you know? So don't feel like you always got to be productive. Go, 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 go in the car, go, 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 you know, like,
well, that's actually how I started out. You know, me, I was,
oh yeah,
you know, I had 7 jobs.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm down to like 4 jobs now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing pretty good, but I always make sure I take that time after at 9 p.m. to take my time and turn the TV off and just meditate.
Because I don't think people understand how much it weighs on like your immune system.
Yeah.
Like, people, you'll get sick.
You know, headaches, you get sick, you're tired, you're everything. When your body is not at the optimum health. Now, I would always say, disclaimer, I am not a clinician, I'm not a therapist or anything. I'm an entrepreneur who had an experience and who was aware of what I went through. But when you think about when stress levels get high, it does come out, it manifests within your body. I mean, that's, you know, you go to WebMD and it'll tell you the same thing, right? So you want to make sure that you are in optimal health, but your mindset and how you operate plays on your body. So you gotta have that harmonious, you know, drive within yourself. You gotta have that balance. And then also, like, as business owners, another thing is, you know, you want to definitely have your system set up. Have, like, a lot of burnout is unnecessary. And to be real about it. You know, if you have systems set up, if you have, you know, automations, you may not have a team, but there's enough technology to set things up in a way that it helps you to coast through as much as possible. So in that way, you're not burnt out by looking at your calendar. You're not burnt out by this, by that, and everything else. You know, because a lot of people even ask me, okay, Sacha, how are you able to still do everything you're doing right now? I have systems set up, you know, that I probably didn't have in the past, but I have it now. And the more I grow, I know that I gotta, you know, outsource more. And that's the other thing too, being able to trust yourself to outsource. That's another key. You know, so it's just like all these different things. And I feel like there's not enough people talking about it in that light. There's not enough people talking about mental health and entrepreneurship together. And that's actually the talk that I did when I was in Paris for that event. So, you know, you got to be real about it. You got to know where you are, and you have to set it up. As I see a lot of first-time business owners, you know, they go into this thing and it's just like, oh my gosh, I'm so burnt out already. But you went into it without a plan. You went into it without, you know, and I get it. People always say, you know, just go ahead and start because you want to get out of that fear and you just want to do it, which is good. But take time out to make a plan with it too, because it helps you to minimize your own personal risk that happens. And that personal risk is the burnout. It is the stress that you experience. And so you just go from there. But yeah, that's what I did.
Well, a lot of stress is come down to money, right? And what I found is most entrepreneurs, they don't know how to put a price tag on the value they provide for their clientele. So like you do a service, you see the person, they say, hey, look, I'm looking for, I don't know, whatever service you're doing. Let's say like I was a previous personal trainer, right? I started out $15 an hour. Know where I ended up? $93 an hour. 93 Roger Lee. It was meant to be, call me. You know what I mean? And so I did that, and people paid that money out in Chicago. They paid in DC, and that's what I did. So I undervalued myself, even though I have a master's degree in physiology and human anatomy, and I teach personal trainers how to become personal trainers. And then I teach at the college level human anatomy, physiology, biomechanics, and everything. Not realizing, why would I charge $15 an hour? I'm a master at my craft.
That's programming right there, man.
Right?
The system has made you think that.
So a lot of people, they undervalue themselves. If you're an entrepreneur out here, just make sure you put the right price tag on yourself and say no to those people who undervalue. Most family members, hey, give me a discount. Give me that. Nah, son. Nah. This is about the business. So teach them well.
Yeah, and then the other part to add to what you're saying is there are sometimes people, it's about your target market too. You know, you can have a target market, and so like if you think it's on social media, which it is, but who all is following you? Do you have more of who you are following you, or do you have people who are potential clients? You know, so I admit I have a lot of people who are in the same space I'm in. I can't sell to them. You know, basically they're there trying to see what I'm doing. Yeah. I mean, just be real about it. And we see what each other's doing, whether we can partner or you just continue to see and just look and see what's going on. So I know that I can't just be all on social media trying to find clients. I have to look outside of it. So that's why I do a lot with in my PR. I go outside the box. You know, my box is just not social media. So my clients are everywhere else. So if I'm on this platform, okay, I'm speaking here, then I have potential clients out there to work with. All right. I'm on this show. I have potential clients.
Yeah, I got to get some details. It's not just social media. How else do people find clients?
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, you do it with speaking. You do it with other online sources like magazines. A lot of the magazines are now online, but you definitely do that. You could be a contributor writer showing us up as an expert in what you do and gravitate people that way.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Even in, like I said, going back to events, and these are strong marketing tools that you can use, but you're marketing yourself. One of the things that I do, I use Google Business. Okay. I use it as a platform. I just don't say, okay, well, I'm on Google Business and you can just find me. Yeah. No, I'm posting my next offer. I'm posting this because you can do that. Yeah. People don't use it.
Talk about GC.
Is that free?
Yeah. Google
free?
Business.
Yeah. Oh my God. And you can get reviews there, so you have social proof?
Yeah, you get your and here's the kicker. I'm gonna give you another tip.
Glowing up.
Dropping tips.
But think about it. You market yourself. When you think outside the box and marketing yourself, right? You can do as much as do a review on somebody else's stuff. So I was just recently in Galveston. I was eating at this restaurant, you know, so I'm like, and then I actually had an interview down there too. So I did a review because I really enjoyed the restaurant, but I also did a review at the studio I was at, and I posted my video. You're marketing yourself because everybody's going to see that review, and then you post a picture of yourself with that in that restaurant or the video that you just did, your own video in your own interview. You're marketing yourself. Then next time, you don't know who's going to see that review. Who's going to take that and then go back to your website? Because I'm on Google Business. So when you Google me, you can see everything that I am, my website, everything. There you go.
Major key. All right, I gotta ask for a little bit more sauce because earlier you were talking about systems, and I don't think we were detailed enough. Can you give me? I don't want all of it. One system that you implement to make your job and your life easier.
One system that I do use, I outsource. That's one system. I have an intern that works with me. She helps me out. And you know, having to be able to trust myself to let go, I definitely do that. Another thing I utilize a lot, my calendar. These are practical things.
Yes.
I use Calendly. You know, some people might use other things, but I use that. So I had to put some things on audit. This is the prime example. For my podcast, okay, I love being able to connect with people. So when I started out, I was doing like, oh, let's go ahead and set up a little 15-minute intro. Let me see what you're all about, blah, 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 all this other stuff. This year, I can't do that. So what I did, I used Google Forms, and I used my Calendly, and I put that on automated. So to still kind of vet people, I send my link out. I just don't put it out there and say, oh, y'all can come sign up for my podcast, and I can't vet you. But I'll put it out there. People inbox me, whatever. I already know what you're about. I send a link. That's all I do. So I got rid of I just want to meet you first and all that. My life can't handle that right now. And so I feel really good about that. So, having to be strategic about it. Strategy is a system in itself. When you're being strategic about what you're doing and then add the extra tools to it, it helps to minimize the extra stuff. And then, like I said, I'm on autopilot. All I know is I got to show up next Thursday, 8 p.m. for my first guest.
Yep. So I love that you said calendar, because I was like, if I had an opportunity to, give my input, that's what I was going to say, right? We have finite resources in this world, time and money. Everybody know about the money. They watch the money run out, but nobody pays attention to the time. You know what I mean? And then they trade their time with somebody for $15 an hour, a lot less than it's worth. Guys, own your time. My calendar, and this is the best year, and I'm super proud. Everybody in this room has seen my calendar because I'm super proud. It's color coded, and before I answer any question, somebody say, "Donovan, can you do this?" I'm like, "Give me a second." You know what I mean? Then I go through, I gotta look at it because I don't want to overcommit to you because that's gonna make me feel bad. But then also, like, I don't want to run out of time to give to my family, to relax, to make sure that I'm chilling here and talking with my boys and working on our business, working on our business and not just in our business.
So let me tell you, we did a podcast a couple weeks ago, right? Reflecting on 2022. The calendar that we had in 2022 was like our journal. Yeah. We saw ourselves grow step by step. Because what we were doing last year for our podcast, we had 2 cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking into it, and we did okay. Where are we at now?
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff in here.
We were supposed to go up by 10%. We went up by like 80%. We got everything up in here. You know what I mean? So it's always good to reflect on what you did the year before. That's another benefit of having a calendar.
So I hope this was a great opportunity for you to reflect, because you got some great growth coming in your business.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And one of the things I had to do at the end of 2022 was I set that time. I was like, okay, after the 19th, I'm not doing anything. I still have people saying, "Oh, Sacha, can we do a little talk here?" No, because I needed the 2 weeks, because my year went by so fast, and I didn't have time. I was processing, but to really process quietly, I didn't have that time. And so, from virtual events, speaking, podcast interviews, my own podcast, and traveling and everything, like, I needed to step back. Plus, I still have my daughter. She's getting married in May, so I had to step back for her too, because I'm like, I got to pull her in, because she'll side at me real quick, like, okay. So I am a mompreneur, even though she's older, I'm still her mother. And so I still have to make time for her and her family and everything. And so, yeah, I had people, and I had to step back and say, look, you have to feel comfortable enough to say no. You have to step back from everything to really plan out your next new, your move and everything. And so I had to do those things. And like, even right now, this first quarter, is still planning for her wedding. So I have to, when all these opportunities are coming my way, I have to look at that calendar. I have to, it's like, okay, I got this, I got that. I gotta block this out because that's her bridal shower. It's like all these different things, and including traveling, because I do have more traveling to do.
Do you ever ask your daughter or any family members or, maybe significant others, you ever ask them to send you a calendar invite? No?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Get on my calendar.
But what I do, as soon as they tell me something, I'll look at the calendar. I'm like, look, I'm gonna put it in there, because if I don't put it in, I'm going to forget.
So I'm not doing it.
So we had to do.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing it out of ego. I'm actually believing that if I have you send me a calendar invite, then you're looking at your calendar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so by virtue of that, you're like glowing up too. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. Everybody there.
I'm just trying to help out. Nice. Rod, you got any more questions for our amazing guest today, Miss Sacha?
Nah, I'm just happy that she came, because I'm just learning about the Google form and the calendar, and ready to roll.
Hey guys, our notepad is filled, and likewise yours should be too. If not, go ahead and push rewind. Take some time and learn from one of the best business strategists in the 757 who are helping us out in glowing up our community. Remember, she talked about how she loves giving. Likewise, the Marching More team loves giving, right? We're about more giving. She is a great resource for our community, and she's bringing TEDx here for you.
Yes.
For all of you, right? So we're building more community. And I know that us all walking this journey together and working in alignment, there will be much, much, much prosperity for all of us. So with that, I want to say thank you to Miss Sacha Walton for blessing our podcast. Thank you to all of you listeners out there. It's been phenomenal having you guys tune in, and be sure to check out the next episode of the Marching to More podcast. I'm Donovan D. McFadden.
Roger Lee.
And we are the Marching to More team, helping you guys along your journey of building wealth.
And remember, we'll be with you from the beginning to the end, and from that moment forward.
Thank you. Have a blessed day.